From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. A drive through the mountains of Colorado comes with some steep, windy roads. And sometimes that becomes deadly, especially for truck drivers.
A nightmare in the mountains. People were seen walking along I-70 through a sea of parked cars after a crash shut down the highway for hours.
Glass scattered all over the road after CDOT says two semis crashed. There are the pictures, causing both of those vehicles to go into the other lane and roll over. One of the semis also hit additional vehicles. 3 people were taken to the hospital.
Even in good weather, mountain highways like I-70 can be uniquely challenging for professional truck drivers. And there's no specialized training required to drive in the mountains. That didn't sit well with 2 professional drivers named Joe Trussell and Scott Moorer. A few years ago, they founded CDL 303, a trucking school in Commerce City. They're the only commercial driver's license school in the country that offers a training program focused on mountain safety. Joe and Scott talked with me about how they train drivers to understand the unique physics of driving in the mountains and how to make the journey safely. Scott, there's a misconception that truck crashes happen in the mountains mainly in the winter because of snow and ice. Could you talk about why accidents are just as likely, if not more likely, to happen in the summer?
I would say more summer traffic would be a factor in that. I think they probably assume that there isn't any weather challenges or anything, so they up their speed. I think maybe newer drivers go out more often when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of factors.
Joe, when you're behind the wheel of a semi, the potential for a severe crash is so much bigger. How do you help drivers understand the physics and, the geometry of driving in the mountains?
So we spend a lot of time on tip over potential, depending on how tall your load is, where the weight is with the load, how different loads respond. Like you take a truck carrying liquid, if it's half full, because I'm an optimist, and you take a turn in that, it's going to slosh, and it's going to create a higher force than a full or an empty cylinder.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So these are kind of some of the things that we look at. We look at the rate of speed and the weight and the amount of energy and force that generates when you're on an incline. And we look at the fact that your service brakes are made to stop a vehicle on a flat surface in 300 feet at 60 miles per hour. It's made to do that once.
Okay.
It's not made to do that perpetually as you're going down an incline with all of this weight and physics and force and energy behind you, which is why we really push the engine compression brake in the program, because that's the lifesaver in the mountains.
Yeah. I know when I'm driving downhill in the mountains, I'm tapping my brakes a lot, maybe just to check and see if they're still working. Is that
Right.
is that what semi-truck drivers should be doing?
I mean, it's a car and truck. It's heat them up, let them cool down. Heat them up, cool them down. But with full load, then you should be engine braking and saving your service brakes.
Yeah, as my illustrious trainer Scott said, I can go from the western slope to Denver without ever touching my service brakes,
Wow.
because he's using the engine brake the whole time.
Okay.
And it's a much more mellow way to drive. I mean, you see the trucks coming down the mountain going way too fast, and these guys are white knuckling it, going down Floyd Hill or whatever. If they would just use their compression brake and slow down, it's not that difficult, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scott, even though weather is not the biggest factor in crashes, as we know, winter is still a tricky season for most people to drive in. What are the main winter driving rules you teach your students?
Plan ahead. You have a wealth of information right there in front of you in your phone. Just turn on the weather alerts. I mean, I remember heading out to the Western Slope one time, and I checked traffic there in the winter. And there at the Red Rocks exit, it was just packed. So I just pulled off in West Denver and went to a Pioneer, and I got 4 or 5 hours worth of work done, on my laptop. Checked the CDOT app.
With some soup.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I had some soup and sandwich. And then I pulled up the CDOT app, and I kept checking that. The Colorado Department of Transportation has an excellent application that you can use to check all road conditions and you can read all of the over highway signage all the way out, the entire state. So it's like, that's all you need. So I just waited for it to improve, and it cleaned up, and I got on the road, and, it's fine. Don't drive into the abyss.
Yeah. And a lot of these guys don't know how to chain up either.
Yeah.
Is another thing. A lot of these southern drivers, flat land drivers, they don't understand chain up procedures. So we go through that in pretty solid detail in the course as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if they're trying to put on chains in flip-flops and sweatpants, they shouldn't be driving.
Right.
Absolutely. So how much interest has the Mountain Ready course gotten from the industry, Joe?
So we've had a lot of behind-the-scenes interest from organizations, state, federal organizations saying, hey, it's time somebody did something about this, and we are totally behind you. We haven't gotten any official endorsements from anybody, but we're hoping that that's coming. In the meantime, we've been concentrating on private fleets. Several smaller fleets, I've given the training to their drivers, and one larger fleet from the East Coast, and they've seen real improvement. And the reviews coming back from the actual drivers have been overwhelmingly positive, that this is training that they need and that they appreciate, which warms my heart because it was not easy to create this training. We have one fleet in Arizona who we're working with in conjunction with RoadAware, and they have seen safety improvements. They have seen driver behaviors improve in a measurable market way based on taking our course, which is awesome.
And the other side of that is the maintenance cost savings. If you're braking easier and not tearing all your equipment up, you're going to save money over that entire year.
Yeah.
In 2019, there was a truck driver who crashed after his brakes failed on I-70 near Lakewood. He killed 4 people and was originally sentenced to 110 years in prison. Joe, does it surprise you that more trucking companies don't mandate the kind of training that you offer as a way to avoid tragedies like that?
I think that the trucking companies are coming around because all companies are trying to mitigate what they call nuclear verdicts. And these are verdicts against trucking companies for over $10 million or more. And they're happening more and more. And it's creating insurance costs for the trucking companies that are kind of unsustainable. So as a result of that, I think a lot of trucking companies are looking for ways to better prepare their drivers. Nobody wants to have accidents like that. Everybody wants to get home to their families every night, and that's really the ultimate goal of all this.
Joe Trussell and Scott Moore own CDL 303, a truck driving school in Commerce City. They spoke with me about their Mountain Ready course, which trains drivers to safely navigate the unique challenges of mountain roads. You'll find more information in our show notes and at KUNC.org. We'll also include a link to a recent In The NoCo episode that highlighted an innovative idea to get semis safely through Colorado's mountains by loading them onto a train. Check the show notes for that one too. That's it today for In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thanks so much for listening.